Hey there guys, and welcome to another edition of Bagel and Booze. This week we're not actually going to be doing any beer tasting. What we're actually going to do is learn about making beer. We're going to do it homebrew style, and we're going to do it with my buddy Shawn. If you remember Shawn, probably not. Figure nobody watches these videos. Actually, I guess some do. There's like 10 people, 12. But anyway, he joined us in episode 3. We tasted a mess of stouts and IPAs, and we did that episode while we were in downtime of doing the brew making. It's a lot of downtime that goes into play with that. So what we're going to show for tonight, I kind of finally stitched everything together. I'm going to show it out and show you what goes into it. It'll walk us through the process, what it's got at the home kit, things of that nature. Obviously, last week you got a real small taste test of probably one of my, out of those clips, of probably my stupidest moment of the year, where I tried to eat hops, suffice to say, not the best move ever. People have asked me how do I know wood tastes like. I don't know. It just tasted, smelled like wood. It was, chewing on pencils, whatever. I guess you could attribute it to that. So stick around, grab yourself a beer. We're coming down to learn about beer, but it's both our birthdays, so we're going to sample out some stuff. So taking off, come down to help him out, make some beer, and hopefully we'll drink a little bit of beer, and we'll get everything going. So, Shawn, go ahead, show us what you got here in your home brew kit.
All right, what we got is kettle rim system. This tank here has the heating element in it. This tank here is the mash tun, has a false bottom in it. I have a controller set up here using a craft beer pie setup with a touch screen. All the controls are run through there. The way the setup works is you heat the water in this tank. It pumps over through here up into the top of this tank so that you can do the mash in. You leave your temperatures running here for your mash. I do a continuous flow while it's mashing. Once that gets done,
hence ebb and flow.
Right. And once that gets done, we'll move it over back into the boil tank. We'll do our boil there, and from there we'll put it into the fermenter.
So how much will you brew out of this thing, Joel?
Just to make a 10-gallon batch. Okay. So I got 2 15-gallon kettles. I can get 10 gallons of beer at the end of the day. I'll put it in the kegs when we're done.
Oh, so you'll just put this straight into kegs when it's done, no bottling or messing with any of that stuff?
Just right in the kegs.
Now, is that just grain that you got going in there, Shawn, or?
Yeah, this is just the malts.
Just the malts.
I use some rice hulls as well to keep it from getting locked up in there so the water can flow through.
So you can kind of see, we'll get a look in there. Doesn't quite look like beer yet, but, that is what it is to start it off with everything. You grind all your own off of this, or?
Yeah, I grind it. I get the grains and then I grind them.
Oh, okay.
The malts.
So as you kind of see again.
This beer is a high ABV, so it takes a lot more grain than most of the other ones I do.
You know which will be single digits, double digits?
Should be about 7.5.
And yes, guys, he will sanitize. I thought I saw him digging his hands inside the beer, so I won't want that.
Still got to go through boil and everything. Got to take care of it.
There we go. That's good. You're just stirring up the grains, I guess, off of all that stuff.
Yeah, just making sure it's all down inside.
Okay.
Good.
We don't want any floaties. And how long has this got to sit for now?
90 minutes.
90 minutes?
Here, yep.
Okay.
Get the green bed to set. Once the green bed sets, I'll turn the pumps on, let it circulate as it's supposed to.
And we're still not at beer at that point. Is that when we got our wort going on, or?
We'll have wort once the pumps get up here.
Okay. What are we getting ready to set up here? Looks like, I think we're going to play a little beer pong, coming up. Is that what's going to happen? You got the red solo cups up for that?
No. We're going to be
no beer pong?
No beer pong
okay.
yet. We still got about 2-3 weeks before that.
Okay.
So right now, just setting up with the hops. We're going to be using several different types of hops. I got 5 in this recipe.
Okay.
Nugget, Columbus, Warrior, Willamette, and Simcoe. So what I'm doing right now is just starting to get those measured up for the boil. We have a 90-minute mash today, so we've got 90 minutes on the 90 minutes on that, and then we have a 90-minute boil after that. So the way the boils work,
I thought this stuff was quick.
You set up your hops. Stuff will go in it. The boils work in reverse. So when you have a 90-minute addition, you put that in right at the beginning of the boil. So the stuff that's 1-minute addition goes in at the very end. So during this one, we have a 90-minute, a 30-minute, a 10-minute, and 1 minute that we'll be putting in. What we're brewing today is a Nugget Nectar clone. Once this gets into the fermenter, we'll have another set of hops that'll need to go in 4 days. So essentially what the hops does is it adds the flavor to the beer. So what we're doing today is an Imperial IPA, Indian Pale Ale, and the hops add in that bitterness and that flavor that you usually taste in a beer.
So what's our first one that's going in?
The first one going in is Nugget. So we got, at Nuggets. The 90-minute mark, we got Nugget hops and then Simcoe hops will be going in. Cool. So I'm just getting those weighed up now.
So we do have our flavors that are here. So as we said, we do have some of the hops that are going in, and as we kind of look at it, you know, they all impart different flavors kind of come in, you know, for what we got going on. So, you know, I've taken out the first two that Shawn said, you know, these are our what, 90-minute ones you said, because we're doing stuff in the reverse. So we've got our Simcoe, which according to here, you know, we'll kind of show it up, you know, it's backwards. I'll have to take a picture of it later so we can see it, you can read it correctly. This one is, you know, we got grapefruit that comes in, some citrus, stone fruit, tropical fruit, definitely catch that in there. This part I'm not too keen on, grass and wood. I don't know about you, but I do not need my beer tasting like wood or even grass. Definitely not there. And our other one we got here, nice healthy bag of it. That's a good smell off of that. This is the Nugget. Caught a little bit of wood off of that one too, because this also has wood in it. You know, but this also, we got citrus, stone fruit, tropical fruit still in there. And even with our styles of beer that we've got for it, you know, these are definitely recommended in for the pale ales, the you know, wheat beers, saisons, the lighter stuff, you know, where we are going to get that fruit, that lighter fruit. You know, we've gotten fruit in for, you know, our stouts and lagers and the stuff that we covered before, you know, but those are going to be more of the darker tree fruits, you know, cherries, I guess, yeah, cherries are tree fruit, screwing up on that, but I was gonna say blueberries, raspberries, stuff like that, the, you know, other stuff that we have on that. So those are that we have for there, and you know, that's what adds in, and that adds with the flavor profiles that come in for everything. So while Shawn's busy there still pouring out some hops, you know, as we were kind of taking a look, you know, what we have, you know, when you see hops, normally you think of the flowery type stuff, but you know, for what we've got here, you know, as you kind of see, take a look at that, you know, that almost looks, in my mind, looks like rabbit food. Obviously it's a lot easier. You know, you're going to deal with the more traditional flower hops that you would see when you're going to be, as Shawn was saying, the West Coast guys that can get stuff more fresh. But you know, for when it's got to travel, if you got to hold it, if you're not brewing that often, it's better. You know, the pellets tie stuff is going to hold. It's going to obviously be travel a lot more compact that comes off of that. It's easier to ship the little bags, and you're going to have much larger volume that you need off of the flower hops that are there. And you said even like most of the brewers around here, you know, they're going to, you know, use the pellets and stuff like that.
Most of the brewers use pellets as well.
Gotcha. It's just, I guess, a lot easier. You know, it's a lot more controllable. You know, you got a specific kind of quantity, size, you know, pretty much with each of these pellets that kind of come in off of that versus, you know, kind of dealing with the irregularities that you might have off of the flowered hops that exist out there. So now we're going to come to the stupid part of the show. Like, there's many stupid parts. So you know, we're going to find out, you know, not that I could say if it really tastes like rabbit kibble, but you know, I've never eaten rabbit kibble, but he's back there shaking his head. But we're going to try it, and we're going to see which one this was the Nugget. This tastes like wood. We're find out if it really tastes like wood. So
you'll find out.
Oh, should I get a big handful or just
take
a little?
A few.
Take a few.
If you want to do it right.
I know. Man up, pony up here. We're going to pony up here on Bagel and Booze. We ain't doing little, so we're getting a nice big handful, and we're going to pop it in, and it's probably going to be one of the worst decisions. I make a lot of worse decisions, and when this effer is around, there's a lot of bad decisions.
I told you not to do it.
What?
You're choosing to do it.
Oh, he's bringing up the, you're talking about this. I was talking about, you were bringing up, I thought you were bringing up the 4-pound burger challenge. No. So here we go.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
I'm not a smart man.
It's like, oh crap, it's like eating wood. Oh, whoa. Okay. I can't chew. I need some water. So we'll be back. Okay, so we're back. That was definitely, I think my teeth are, whew, that's definitely one of my dumber ideas, I'd say, right? Yeah. On what I've done.
I
and agree. Sean's known me for what? I don't know, 10, 15 years, if not more. So in this grand scheme of stuff that I've done dumb, I ranks right up there, I'd say. So it was like tasting wood. It's still in my mouth. And I think it won't go
away because of the oils in it.
Nope. So I'm screwed for the rest of the day, I think. So we're going to give you secrets of brewing, courtesy of Shawn here. And this section is brought to you by, there you go. If you can read that, that is Infant Mylicon, which is AKA when your baby's got gas. And this actually will be part of the brewing process?
Yes.
What are we doing this for, you said?
So you can get beer defoamer to help keep the foam down and prevent nerd alert. Infant Mylicon and beer defoamer are actually the same primary ingredient. So you can use Infant Mylicon as a beer defoamer if you need to.
So all you parents out there, now you can stop your baby's gas, but you can also defoam your beer. I guess I could even pour this into when I'm drinking beer. If I got a lot of head on my beer and wanted to get rid of it, just drop that in.
And let's not drink that.
Okay. That'd be another bad idea. So we're, I'm trying to, it's about, I don't know what, 11 o'clock in the morning. So we're trying to get rid of some of the nastiness off of the hops that I ate. And I will just say probably the dumbest idea that I've ever done. And I've done a lot of dumb stuff. So we're going to drink up, this is Breck Lager from Breckenridge Brewery. I don't think I've ever reviewed anything from there, but, in comparison to the hops, it's a nice smooth lager. Heck, I probably would drink like motor oil at this point to try to get rid of the taste that is still lingering in my mouth from the hops.
You're going to have that for about 2 or 3 hours.
Grand, just what I needed. So dumb stuff here on Bagel and Booze. We're now going to try another part of the beer making process, and it can't be any freaking worse than the hops were. So what do we got here?
I actually fully support this. So this is malt. This is Vienna malt, which is one of the malts in the beer.
You fully endorse this?
I endorse this.
Okay.
This tastes just like cereal.
So this part of the show is endorsed by Shawn. So, of course, I can't really say that he's never endorsed something that hasn't been stupid. So, but I'll take his word for it. He did kind of warn me not to do the other stuff. So this is, what did we say this was again? This is Vienna malt. So this is the malt that goes in.
I'll even
oh, look, with you. He's going to do it with me. So we're going to pop it on 1, 2, 3, pop it in.
Tastes like cereal.
Like cereal. That's so much better than the other shit I just ate. It definitely, it's like eating dry cereal. Like eating my oatmeal in the morning. So again, part of the stuff, beer is good for you. We got grains in it. Nasty hops, which I should have known reading the thing of grass and wood flavor. That not the smartest idea, but then again, no one said I'm the smartest person on the face of this earth. So we'll go. We got some other stuff coming up, and we'll come back into the process. We're going to be getting ready to do the boil, and we're going to start adding in some of our hops. Not going to eat them. We're going to just pour them in, and we'll fill you in on that. What happened while we were gone for here, you can kind of see we got one of the kettles that is now open at this point. And what did we do, Shawn?
We moved the mash over into the brew kettle.
Okay.
And we're just waiting for it to come up to boil temp.
Okay. So right now we're at, well, that dropped. We're at 70. We're 180 on the other side for here. So everything's out. You can kind of see down in here. There's all kind of the spent stuff, all kind of nasty and shit. I won't eat that. I've learned my lesson. So, although it is the cereal grain, so it is what it is off of that. So, but, we got a little bit more of a wait at this point, because again, we're waiting for stuff to boil up, get it up there, and then at that point, we'll then start the next part of the brewing process.
All right. Since the last time we talked, we've moved the mash over into the boil. So now we're working on the wort. So I'm getting ready. We're running it up to a boil. Going to put a couple drops of the gas drops in, and it should bring the foam down.
See what happens. Remember, good for babies, good for beer.
We'll give that a moment to see how it works, but it should bring that foam down momentarily.
I don't think it's working.
Were you expecting some magic and it was just going to disappear?
Yeah. I expected you to like throw that stuff in and it just whoop.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
That's not.
It takes a moment to mix in and it'll start to come down.
I still see bubbles in there.
You can see it breaking down over here. This is what you want. You don't want this here. It'll continue to work its way down.
Okay. I expected it to go like fast and stuff. This is slow. I expected fast acting bubble stuff. Works fast when your kid. See how fast this works when your kids' bellies? They're going to be gassy for a while off of that stuff. So, good luck. So we're back. We've let our stuff kind of boil for a while. We've got our nasty looking mash in there. You know, now it's time to do the fun stuff. What actually gives us the flavor on beer. Well, helps to start get flavor on beer. But remember the crap I ate before? The nasty hops? Now it goes in. Not in my mouth, not in my belly, but into the beer. So, what do we got going on?
So we're getting ready to add in 90-minute hops, and then I'll start the timer, and we're doing a 90-minute boil on this beer. Most beers call for a 60-minute boil. This one has a 90-minute. So I'm going to go ahead and add the hops in. We'll start the timer, and then the next time around we'll be at the 30-minute mark when we'll be adding more hops.
So stick around. We'll be putting which ones are these going in? This
is the Nugget and the Simcoe.
Okay. And it's at this point we start to get some of the flavor profile that starts to come in off of the beer. So that is the reasoning for, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's the reason why you're adding these in at different times.
Yes.
Because you have different mixes of the hops that come in, and as we read on before, the different flavor profiles that come in off of that stuff, are going to bring those characteristics out on that beer. So, in connection with that.
Yeah. So the couple things, we're putting it in this container here so that all of the hop particles don't end up in the beer. Helps keep the beer clear. And then the other part is any of the early addition hops, which is what we're putting in right now, are around flavor. When we get down to about the 10-minute mark, we'll start adding stuff in that will add to the aroma. And then there's a dry hopping process later on, which will also add to aroma and flavor as well. So right now, this is Nugget and Simcoe, and it's going in for flavor profile.
Nugget and Simcoe? That sounds like a good movie that you need to watch. Wonder if it's as good as Tango and Cash.
You know me, huh?
Yeah, I hear you're the second best cop in LA.
That's funny. I hear the same thing about you.
Stick around for better jokes. We've burned out the last hour. We did the initial hops, so it's time for yet another round of hopping the beer. So this is our 30 minutes. Not to be confused with 30 minutes in, but we got 30 minutes to go until we're done the initial boil for all you other people. So what we got going in now?
Simcoe. Putting in Simcoe. This is for
did not eat
flavor. So we're going to dump that in.
So as you kind of see up here on top, we've got a nice little basket that holds all of our hops that goes in. They break down. They sit on top there, and if you kind of see, might be a little hard, but you kind of see the lines on the side of the vessel. We've basically burned off, I don't know, probably what?
About a gallon and a half of wort so far.
Yeah, I was about to say and it's about an inch, 2 inches from the top. You can kind of see the lines that are there that, we've gone down. So we are, constantly as we're boiling, it's evaporating. That brings the flavor profile that comes out of that, correct?
Yep.
As we get it down, as we get everything down, we get it all kind of boiled up and it's ready to go. And we should be dropping probably about another 2 gallons by the time we're done. So we got, 30 minutes. There's a 10-minute and a 1 minute to go.
15-minute, 10
Sorry.
1 minute.
I screwed up. So I'm not paying attention. I would have screwed up the whole beer if we were following my thing. We would have shit beer that was going on. So maybe not.
Yeah, and the whole purpose of putting the hops in the basket is it reduces the trub. And the trub.
You said shrub. Is that like chub?
Not like chub. Like
okay.
Shrub. So it reduces
shrub.
not shrub. It helps reduce the amount of
shrub.
Shrub.
Not shrub, not chub.
But just no oil.
Gotcha. Oil?
No oil.
No oil? That's what I put in my car. Oil.
But what it does is it keeps all that in this basket, and then that way we pull that out, and it's not in the beer, and it helps the beer to be more clear. When we put it in the
we don't have hazy, cloudy beer, so we have nice, clean, crisp beer.
It'll still be hazy because it's a homebrew, but it won't be as bad
because we have trub in our beer.
Right.
So God hates when I got trub in my beer. So get trub
Trub in my shorts. You know, get Trub in my beer.
That just does not.
I shouldn't
I
have
don't
said that.
say that again.
Okay, my bad. That was a bad thing to say. So, peace
I
out.
don't be thinking about your shorts when I'm drinking beer.
You're gonna be thinking about my Trub in my shorts now when you're drinking this beer. So, but we'll be back. You know, when we get to the 15 minutes, if I recall that correctly, and we'll throw in some more, and then we got a little bit more, and then we get real busy when we've got to start putting it into the cooling it down and getting stuff ready to get into the next part of the brewing.
Yep.
So.
Next hop in at the 10-minute mark, Palisades and Nugget.
Okay. Try not to burn yourself on this one. You know, we got that in. So we've got, we got one more we got to do?
We got one more at the 1 minute mark. We
That's
did
gonna be
put in
fast-paced.
some Irish moss a few minutes ago.
You missed. I should have been filming that because
He failed.
I failed. I could have caught Brainiac here burning his hand when he put his fingers in the 200. What's that?
212.
212
Unintentionally sticking my finger in there.
212 degree boiling.
But yeah, the Irish moss basically is a coagulant that helps the trub to like form up, so it pulls the beer.
There's the trub
pulls it
again.
out of the beer and makes it more clear.
I like
so,
when my trub coagulates.
Yes, trub coagulating is good.
Yes, in my pants.
But we'll be back in a few minutes. This is
We got some
one
more.
more ad, and then
Then we're going to cool some shit down.
down.
Yep, and we'll be one step closer to the beer. Okay, so we're back, and we're now at 3 minute hops? 1 minute?
1
we
minute
got,
hops.
We got one. So
so
again, that's
flame out.
flame out. Okay.
Flame out's when you're done boiling.
Okay, so we're almost done, and it's time to, as you can kind of see, we got a little bit more of a contraption here. You can see we got, probably shouldn't touch it, but I'm going to touch it, but it's not, oh, Jesus Christ. Ah, ha, 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 son of a bitch, that's hot.
You get the light from me.
I know. So, that's hot. It's supposed to be the cold water filtering through there. Not yet, but that's what's going to happen after we're done in about the minute. You know, we're going to start pumping cold water through this coil system. We dropped it in. We got it in there and start to sanitize the whole process. Again, everything about trying to keep our beer clean. So you can kind of see in there we've got, our hop, kind of sludge that sits there on top. All the alarms are going off. I think it is, magic time? Kill the heat?
Done.
We're done. So at that point, we've now killed the heat. And at this point, we're now going to start this.
We're going to run cold water through the immersion chiller. So that's going to cool the work down as quickly as possible. You want to cool this down quickly so that we can get it in a fermenter. So I'm going to get the cold water running.
Yep.
And we'll go from there.
Okay. So as you kind of see, we got just we're getting pretty close to, if I can control my selfie stick here correctly. So we got the whole setup in here. I'm not going to get any closer because I already burned my ring finger on what I thought was the cooling pipe, and well, it ain't that freaking cool. So here comes the cold water. Now I can probably gather it, but we've got everything. We're getting pretty close, and we are now down a couple gallons again on our beer. Again, it's been lost on that. So at this point, it's just a matter now of just waiting. So we're back, and we are now into the process of draining out, and we've cooled our beer. So we're now draining it out, and what are we doing now?
We're putting it into the fermenter.
Okay.
So we use the
it's a little back there if you can see.
Yeah, so we use the immersion chiller. Chilled the beer down. It's about 66 right now, which is fine. I have I'm using a blanket heater for starting for plants. It's just basically a heating pad. This thing runs it and keeps the temperature running for me. So right now, I'm just moving it over into the fermenter. Once we get done draining the pots, we'll come back and talk about the yeast starter. I'll be pitching the yeast here in probably another 10-15 minutes.
We're getting yet closer to our final product. This is where the magic starts to happen, and this is where we start to get the final process of beer making. Once the yeast gets in, they're going to start to get in. Of course, I'm probably stealing some of your thunder, but they eat the sugar. That's what makes beer. This is where the magic happens, is in that little canister. Not here, not all this stuff. It's in that little canister where the magic happens. The yeast gets in, eats the sugar, and we start to get the alcohol process. And I think you said there'll be, some dry hopping that will happen later, where we'll throw in some more flavor profiles off of the beer. We got Mad scientist. He's got like a freaking beaker that's sitting down in here. So what's in the beaker?
So this is the yeast. I started up a starter about 2 days beforehand to make sure there's enough yeast to eat through the eat through the sugar to make the alcohol.
That's a lot of. I always thought it was a little bit of yeast that was going in. So I didn't realize
it starts out with little packets. It's got 2 packets and it's 1.5 liters to build up enough yeast to be able to pitch into the beer.
Okay.
This doesn't add really any flavor. It does have alcohol in it because that's what the yeast does.
Yep.
It won't take away from the flavor of the beer. Actually, yeast provides different flavors in the beer depending on the style of the yeast. This is the California ale yeast.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and pitch this in here. And then I'm also going to spray this down real quick.
Sounds dirty, pitching yeast.
Pitching yeast.
I'm going to pitch my yeast to give it with my rub that's coagulated into my shorts.
Yeah. So one of the things you'll see here is me spraying. All I'm spraying is a sanitizer.
Got to keep our shit clean.
Keep everything clean because that's the thing that can ruin your beer the fastest is not being sanitized. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. And then basically that's the end for 2 weeks.
And we'll be back at some point to drink it. At this point, it's just now a matter of waiting for the beer to kind of ferment. You know, we'll add in some dry hops here and there to add to the flavor profile.
Dry hops goes in 4 days, and then that'll be it.
Yep. And depending on the type of brew you're making, you may add some others, but basically at this point, it's just adding the flavor profile to the beer. It's not really adding to alcohol or anything of that nature. It's just adding that flavor profile that comes in. Thank you guys, and peace out, and we'll be back later.